Hello everybody, welcome back. Veloce are really starting to get more attention now in the community, which is good for them because they've really gone under the radar for the past 2 years, even though they have been playing well. And I'm definitely one of the people who underrated them for the past year or so. But this year and with last year, we like to criticize their playstyle, but I think it's time we start looking at it and start appreciating it because it's very unique in the way that it doesn't rely on crazy flip resets and like some of the teams do, where they really want those mechanical players to pop off. And it's also not like other teams where they're just playing super basic, fundamental Rocket League to try to get by. Like, these guys are very consistent and good at what they do, and I think it's time we start giving them credit. And I don't know, I'm really starting to like these guys. Like, to me, they feel kind of like a Leicester City, if any of you guys follow soccer at all, because these guys, when they came up from the rival series last year, nobody expected them to do great, but then they end up getting, like, however far in Worlds, and it's crazy. It's really cool to watch, and I don't know if you guys watched any of my earlier videos, but I didn't get a chance to watch much of last season, and so this is my first full season really watching Veloce a ton. And so, like, to me, in my heart, these guys are still the rival series players that I loved. Like, I love watching some of the rival series games. Like, man, you can say what you want about the quality of play not being as well, but everybody's like, like, they're still, like, they're all trying to prove themselves. Some of the team names are way cooler, all the logos and stuff. And you get to see a lot of, like, the play. I think it's super cool to watch second tier esports. But so to me, I'm loving these guys. These guys, to me, they're still kind of like not super big names, but they've come in the league this year and really dominated. And they're 4-1 at the moment, if I remember correctly. And it's insane. They're the only. Oops, that's just going to that screen. There we go. The only big loss they've had was against Barcelona, or not the only big loss. The only loss was against Barcelona, and Barcelona are looking like one of the top 2 teams in EU at the moment. And I don't think you can give them too much slack for that. But either way, they kept it in a pretty close series. And yeah, I don't know. I think it was game 5. So Veloce 4-1 now, only losing to Barcelona. But who have Veloce beaten? They've beaten Endpoint, Singularity, and they beat Reciprocity, which was a big win for them, of course. And I can't remember the last one at the minute, but I'll check that for us real quick. Let's see. Endpoint, Singularity, Reciprocity, and TSM, that's right. And so, obviously that's not the strongest competition. So how do we really start judging this team at how good they are? Like, TSM, easy win. And then Singularity, they only gave up 1 goal in the series. And then Endpoint, they actually only scored 8 goals each, but they still ended up winning the series 3-1. So it's interesting to see. The only real test they've had were Reciprocity, which they won, and then they lost to Barcelona. And so I think we have to look at their matchups against Barcelona and Singularity. Singularity took, or not Singularity, sorry, Reciprocity. Reciprocity they took to Game 5, and Barcelona they also took to Game 5. And so for those being 2 of the highest ranked teams, I think it's easy to say that these guys can compete with the best of the best, but how much can they really win? I think the way their playstyle works, they don't have the offensive potential that some of the best teams in the world do, but because they're so good at everything else in the game, that it really keeps them in the games, and that's why they're able to take Barcelona to Game 5 even if they lost. And because Reciprocity, even though they have a good offense, they're not very consistent, and that's where Veloce feasts on you. If you're not consistent, Veloce are so good at taking every opportunity and really maximizing their pressure that they can get off of that and taking control of the game. And that's why I think they're so good against some of these lower ranked teams. That's why they only give up 1 goal to a team like Singularity. That's why they only give up 1 game to a team like Endpoint. And even though Endpoint and Singularity have flashes this season of being alright, Veloce aren't going to have it. Veloce are too good for that. Just because they're so good at how they challenge, their defensive rotations and everything. They're so consistent. None of the guys on this team are bad. They're all good, above average players, which is something you don't see on a lot of teams. Like, a lot of the upper tier teams, or even mid tier teams, we see, yeah, this guy has potential, this guy has ability, but this is the obvious weak link. You don't see that on Veloce. They're all so good. Even, like, the guys, like, if they don't get all the credit for offense, they're always so good at their challenges, their passes, everything. It's really, really solid gameplay. And that's why I think we need to start looking at this team as a potential top 2 team. I don't think they'll hit top 2, but they have the potential, because we saw them take Barcelona to Game 5. If that switches that last game, Game 5, and they take it. Now we're looking at like, you know, like easy top 2 candidate. And when they play Dignitas, we'll see how they play. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how those playstyles mix match. They've got Vitality coming up later this month. Or why is it saying that? Anyways, when they do play Dignitas, I think that'll be a really big matchup to see if they can compete. Now, the thing is, I don't think Veloce are the best team in Europe, and I don't know if their playstyle and their just like mechanical ability can win the World Championship. But they are extremely good, and that's why they've been they're going 4-1 this season. Now next week they play Monaco, so that should be an easy win. And then in week 6 they play Mouse, and then in week 7 they play Vitality. And so, when do they play Dignitas? Did I miss this or something? What? I must be missing it. Oh yeah, okay, I forgot they have a weird double day where they play on the... Okay. So yeah, they play on the 15th of March. So about 12 days away from the time of this recording. But I think that'll be the key match to see where this team is at. Because these guys, I have no question these guys are going to beat teams like Monaco, Endpoint, Singularity, any day of the week. But it comes down to what they can do against the high tier teams. Because Veloce, they can struggle sometimes to get a lot of offense on the board. And a team like Dignitas could make them really struggle with, because Dignitas is playing so well this season as well. But I'd honestly love to see these guys get top 2. They're not getting enough recognition for what they've done. And now that they're 4-1, people are starting to think, alright, maybe we need to give these guys some credit. And I think we do. One thing to watch when these guys are playing, like, look at how they pressure the ball, how they read the play, intercept the passes, to guard their own backboard and stuff. They don't allow opportunities. Like, they're really good at closing down teams from getting any quality opportunities, I should say. Like, every now and then you might see some long shots and like just like opportunities that like, yeah, that's easy to be saved unless it's like an extreme backflip or something by Veloce. And so it's a really good team to watch. I think they're very interesting. I really like this team. I think they can hit top 2 if some games go their way. Because Barcelona have looked really strong, but if Barcelona start to drop some games, then we're talking about, you know, potential top 2 spot. But I don't think it'll happen. But I could easily see this team finishing top 3 and making a run at Worlds, which would be interesting to see. But do we really think Veloce, even with their solid defense, do we think they can keep up with the likes of Dignitas, Vitality, NRG, Space Station? I don't know. It's interesting, and so I think it's going to be interesting to watch this team as they go along, as they start to play some of the higher ranked teams. But I thought it was interesting to talk about these guys this week, as they did just come off of a 2-win week, and they're looking very good. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Keep an eye on these guys. I promise. Like, everybody's starting to talk about them now. The hype's starting to finally catch up to them, even though it's about a season too late. So I'll see you guys next time.